Earlier this year, an Eritrean youth conference in Europe got cancelled after a group of demonstrators wreaked havoc at the conference's location.
The 13th European YPFDJ conference was scheduled to take place earlier this year. A group of mostly refugees who say to have fled a brutal dictatorial regime in Eritrea were demanding the conference be banned. A guest speaker at the conference was Mr. Jemani Jabreb, head of political affairs and advisor to President Isaias Afwerki. The demonstrators see Mr. Jabreb as an advisor to a dictator. Emotions ran so high that they physically attacked one of the conference's attendees. The 20-year-old German, Rahel Hadish, who had come to the conference to learn more about her Eritrean ancestry, says she was brutally attacked.
Eine berühmte Sängerin erkannt haben, sind sie ohne zu zögern auf uns los. Mir wurde das Bein gestellt. Es ist einer von hinten angelaufen gekommen, hat mir in den Hinterkopf getreten, so dass ich nach vorne gefallen bin. Und ja, wir wurden beleidigt, uns wurde bedroht, es wurden Beleidigungen gesagt, es wurden Bedrohungen, also uns wurde bedroht, indem gesagt wurde, wir bringen euch um, ihr werdet sterben, ihr werdet hier nicht wegkommen, bevor ihr nicht stirbt. Und ja, wir hatten echt Glück gehabt, wäre die Polizei nicht da gewesen, dann weiß Gott, was passiert wäre.
After regaining control, the police arrested all demonstrators, and the mayor of Veldhoven banned any other demonstrations from taking place. This man was also arrested. A Dutch journalist tweeted that the man in the blue jacket had kicked someone in the head. Adding insult to injury, the mayor also banned the conference from taking place in Veldhoven. The mayor said he banned the conference due to the civil unrest caused by the demonstrators. Organizers of the conference filed an injunction with the courts to have the ban lifted. The judge upheld the mayor's decision. Around 600 men, women, children, elderly, and disabled who were attending the conference were forced to leave Veldhoven. But the conference continued at locations in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and Brussels. Later that evening, Eritrea expert and researcher Miriam Faraiza posted the following message on Facebook. Heroes of the day in Veldhoven, justice seekers in action. Here you see Van Ryzen standing amongst the demonstrators.
Today in Rijswijk, another group of demonstrators is demanding that the Eritrean Holland Festival be cancelled.
The mayor of Rijswijk allowed for the demonstration to take place right in front of the festival's entrance. The group was demonstrating against the festival because they had received word Eritrean ministers would be attending. One demonstrator had a question for the attendees of the festival.
The board say, do you know them? Do you know the people that they are below? They are political, religious, and prisoners of conscience. So there are so many people in prison, but those people, they are ministers, the patriarch, and some of them they are dead, and some of them they are journalists, and some of them also the wives of the ministers. They don't have nothing to do with the politics, you know. We are here to advocate for the people, for the voiceless to be a voice of them, you know.
The demonstrators feel that President Afwerki and his government are responsible for thousands of human rights violations, such as torture, murder, and ruling by fear. In order to understand Eritrea, we must study its history. This flag is of the Eritrean Liberation Front. After a 5-year exile in Bath, England, Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie was able to return to Ethiopia. British troops from the Gideon Force helped liberate Ethiopia from the fascist Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. In 1952, Emperor Selassie signed the Ethiopian-Eritrean Federation Act, which was backed by the UN, making Eritrea a part of Ethiopia. Prior to signing the act, Eritrea's Chief Justice had been removed, and the Eritrean language of Tigrinya was replaced with the Ethiopian language of Amharic. This is the first flag of Eritrea, which has been associated with the Federation, but also with the Eritrean Liberation Force, which launched an armed struggle to obtain independence from Ethiopia. During the struggle for independence, 2 civil wars broke out in Eritrea. Commander and future President Isaias Afwerki left the ELF to form the EPLF, the Eritrean People's Liberation Front. After obtaining independence from Ethiopia, they changed their name to PFDJ, the People's Front for Democracy and Justice. In 1991, the EPLF won the war against Ethiopia, which resulted in the UN recognition of Eritrea as a sovereign state. Even with the UN backing, Eritrea still faces a border conflict with its neighbor, Ethiopia. Ethiopia is currently occupying territory of Eritrea. After holding a UN-supervised referendum on independence, Commander Afwerki was declared the first head of state. He has been president now for 24 years. Critics of the PFDJ say that a number of individuals have unjustly been imprisoned without due process. One of these individuals is believed to be journalist Fasai Yohannes. President Afwerki was asked about Yohannes during an interview and said he didn't know him or of his whereabouts. Sofia Tesfamarian is an Eritrean-American analyst. We didn't ask Tesfamarian specifically about Yohannes' case, but we did ask if journalists had been arrested in Eritrea.
These groups that came then, 11 or 12 newspapers were, completely not what you and I think of when we think of independent press, and they were more like tools and agents for other interests out there. And the government shut them down, and the government shut them down after the people complained.
We also asked her about the migration crisis that Eritrea is facing, and if the people leaving are doing this due to human rights violations.
Are there Eritreans going to Ethiopia? Yes, they are. Are there Eritreans going to Sudan? Yes, they are. But are they leaving and going for the reasons that the West is telling us? Absolutely not. And no Eritrean is leaving to go to Ethiopia. Ethiopia is just a pass-through. They're going elsewhere. Their dream is to enter Europe somehow.
Dutch Eritrea expert Miriam Fareize is mentioned by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs as having worked on the UN's mission of inquiry from 2015 until 2016. Whatever happened to the damning report produced by a UN commission in 2016?
It was hyped. It was leaked before it was presented to the Human Rights Council. It was given the media frenzy that they wanted. And it went to the Human Rights Council, and the recommendations that were contained in the report, none of them were accepted or endorsed. So it's just there. There's a report on Eritrea that accuses Eritrea of all kinds of crimes, and yet nobody on the UN Human Rights Council has said, yes, this is true. We believe everything that's in this report, and we're going to take the recommendations that are in the report and enforce them and pass this to the Security Council so Eritrea can be punished. Why didn't they do that if it was a clean report or if they had evidence?
Eritrea did escape a UN Security Council referral, but the report isn't entirely dead. The Human Rights Council ended up passing a watered-down version of the report and requested that the UN General Assembly submit the investigators' work to relevant organs of the UN for consideration and urgent action.
This is politically motivated. The end game, and Dan Connell put it on one of his lectures for them, if we stick with this human trafficking issue and enlarge it and make it a big issue, it will eventually bring regime change in Eritrea. Because then the world will be disgusted with Eritrea, that its kids are fleeing, that its kids are being drowned in the Mediterranean, and that its kids are being trafficked across there. Make human trafficking their issue, make slavery their issue, and that will bring you international attention and the weight of the media around the world against the government of Eritrea.
In Rijswijk, the demonstrators inched closer towards the festival.
We just want to make peace peaceful demonstration only here, not behind the tree.
The police took in new positions. Emotions continued running high. The police responded. Organizers also regained control. As his family walks by, a demonstrator yells at them. A group of youth want to walk towards one of the festival's guests, but get stopped. The entire demonstration is pushed back. The group decides to go home.
Wij willen onze stematoren, wij worden verhinderd door de politie. Heel erg, heel erg. Gemeente Rijswijk, u houdt niet aan uw afspraak. Wij houden aan onze afspraak. We hebben onze demonstratie rustig gehouden. We hebben aan onze afspraak gehouden. Maar toch worden verhinderd. We hebben alleen maar 1 uur, we waren bijna klaar. Dus zo te zien, dat heeft geen zin. Nu gaan we, dames en heren, meneer en ik, dames en heren, de politie, laat maar ons naar huis gaan. We gaan gewoon naar huis, dat heeft geen zin. Onze afspraak was de politie, maar zo te zien, we worden verhinderd. Wij gaan gewoon naar huis. Wij gaan gewoon naar huis.
The police were able to avoid of having a repeat of what happened in Veldhoven. But all well doesn't end well. 3 demonstrators ended the day getting arrested. Inside Event Plaza, another scene was playing out. Eritrea is a nation of many faces. Eritrea has 9 different ethnic groups who seem to live in peace. Each group has their own dancing style. The dancing, music, and lyrics tell the history of the armed struggle.
I believe in the saying, going to the horse's mouth. If I want answers, I go to the source. That's why I'm planning to travel to Eritrea to take a look for myself. This is Kevin Roberson in Rijswijk for the Roberson Report.